in FEMA funding to help communities deal with extreme weather events. Now, the White House also announced the expansion of the Low Income Energy Assistance Program, which gives states more ways to use federal funds to help keep people in low income areas cool. The Interior Department is also proposing building offshore wind energy areas in the Gulf of Mexico. So while the White House is able to take these steps, the question remains, how much of an impact can we really make without Congress committing to climate legislation? By Congress, I'm talking to you, the United States Senate. So here to discuss it all is Ali Zaidi, Deputy White House National Climate Advisor. Welcome to you, sir. Okay, you are the climate guru, as I like to say. So I'm so happy to be chatting with you today. I want to start talking about these proposals, specifically about expanding wind power areas in the Gulf of Mexico. How confident is the administration that this proposal is going to become a reality?
We are very confident. This is not just about developing clean energy. It's about seizing a broad economic opportunity. We're seeing that now in the Northeast, where the president visited this past week. Not only folks buying land from the federal government to build these offshore wind turbines, but investing here in America to manufacture the turbines, the monopiles, the stuff that goes into harnessing the wind from the sea. And, you know, what's really exciting to me, and I think to the president, is that this is turning around communities that have so often been left out and left behind. It's helping lift up workers with good paying union jobs. So we're seeing the steel literally go into the water now because of projects permitted by this administration. And now we're going to see it all around the country off of every single coast.
So this is not just a proposal, it's actually happening. Okay, Ali, given that, you know, I've known you for a while now, and I know how this goes. The president has been previewing other climate actions that he could take. He tweeted about it as recently as today. Can you give us just a sense of what that might entail? Like, what is on the table here? I'm not asking for the proposals, but yeah, there's a lot here that could happen. So what's on the table?
It's so important, and you know, I've been able to see this from day one of this administration, walking through these gates and to my desk. The president has been moving so quickly from day one. And folks are asking, you know, what's different now? And what he's saying, and this is very clear, is it's time to put the sirens on. It's time to go faster and faster. And what that looks like, you know, offshore wind is a great example. We came in, we reversed the posture the previous administration had taken, which was creating confusion and slowing the progress. We've now not only opened the Atlantic, but the Pacific and efforts off the Gulf of Mexico. When we look at things like electric vehicles, the president came in and reversed Trump rollbacks of fuel economy standards. Now we're looking forward and thinking about how we can accelerate to 50 and fully electric future for our vehicle sector. Progress on things like methane pollution, where the president's been able to bring together 100 countries to take action. We can go bigger, we can go bolder.
So, Ali, I want to play former Vice President Al Gore for you. He talked about climate change with my colleague Chuck Todd, and I want you to hear what he had to say, then I want to talk about it on the other side. Take a listen.
The climate deniers are really in some ways similar to all of those almost 400 law enforcement officers in Uvalde, Texas, who were waiting outside an unlocked door while the children were being massacred. They heard the screams, they heard the gunshots, and nobody stepped forward. And God bless those families who've suffered so much. And law enforcement officials tell us that's not typical of what law enforcement usually does. And confronted with this global emergency, what we're doing with our inaction and failing to walk through the door and stop the killing is not typical of what we are capable of as human beings. We do have the solution.
We have the solution. Look, I know that this is personal for President Biden, and he's...
No, on a political standpoint, what they're teaching right now is only part of the solution. This is not the whole solution. Until people go back and get their lives back in order again with the Heavenly Father towards as it speaks of in the first 3 chapters of Revelations, for I've not found thy works perfect yet, until we can go back and get the Holy Spirit to teach us towards what to do and not what to do in regards towards these carbon footprints. We are only doing part of that. We are only doing part of the solution. The other part is God. It's going to require God Almighty, the creator of this universe, towards enabling us with the right knowledge, with the right wisdom, with the right purposes, towards reversing this so that we can see our planet go back to a pre-normal condition in comparison to where it is right now. Because where it is right now, we're steadily going in the wrong direction. And it's kind of like what Al Gore used as an analogy of the 300 and something men that just stood outside while innocent children was being mutilated and destroyed for 77 minutes while nobody basically done nothing other than sit around and look at one another wondering what to do. I still think that those people was under some sort of a spiritual, demonic bewitching. Myself, because I feel like that we're not fighting against flesh and blood, that we are fighting against principalities, and some of those principalities are the very things that I'm telling you about that can take control, not just of 1 or 2 people, but a whole group of people. Just like the group of people that had it made up in their minds that they was going to crucify Christ. They was going to crucify Christ. Away with him, away with him, away with him. There was people that day that committed the acts of crucifying an innocent man that truly believed that they was doing the right thing. They was that ignorant in what was going on. They was sincere, but at the same time, they was sincerely wrong. Just like the suicide vest bomber that puts a suicide vest on his body and goes out and blows up himself and possibly kills and injures 300 or 400 people over in the Middle East. He's sincere. These people are sincere towards thinking that they're going to die, live with Allah, and live with 99 virgins and drink all the wine that they want. But at the same time, you can be sincerely wrong. The people that are starving to death over in India believes in reincarnation. Refuses to eat a cow because they're going to eat Uncle Albert or Aunt Sally or somebody, some family member. They're sincere. They're sincere enough that they're willing to starve to death before they even touch that cow. We are dealing with superficial, demonic figures, forces that can not only control one person's life, but can control a group of people's lives. That is where we're at today in the last days.
Fight. But you and I both know that he just can't executive order us out of the climate crisis. Congress, and specifically the United States Senate, has a role to play here. So what is the strategy when it comes to the Senate?
Look, here's the deal on Congress. They passed a bipartisan infrastructure law thanks to the leadership of the president, the largest ever investment in our grid, the largest ever investment in resilience to these climate threats, enough money to make sure we fulfill the president's goal of 500,000 EV charging stations around the country. So we've been able to move progress through the Congress. There's additional things they could do. We've been very clear about that. Efforts to cut consumer costs, help accelerate the construction of clean energy. But what the president's been clear about is we're not going to wait on Congress. They have not taken action on these additional proposals, and we got to move forward. And here's to Vice President Gore's point. Yeah, absolutely. We've got 60 million homes today that are powered by clean energy, and 1 out of 7 of those homes got clean electricity during the Biden administration. We've doubled electric vehicle charging already under the Biden administration, so we're making progress. We got to go faster.
All right, Ali Zaidi, making progress. All right, acting where Congress won't. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Next, I have a very special moment, and it happened on an extraordinary wedding day with the love of my life. I'm so excited to tell you about it, so you stay right there.
and Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein.
Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar. Enter Powered by Protein Challenge for a chance to win big.
Research shows that people remember ads with young people having a good time. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance, here's a pool party.
Look what I brought!
Liberty Mutual, they customize your home insurance.
So you only pay for what you need. Young people having a good time with insurance. Young people, good times, insurance.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's the all-new Subway Series menu. 12 irresistible new subs. The most epic sandwich roster ever created. It's Subway's biggest refresh yet.
Hi, I'm Christina. You may know me from flipping houses. Listen, I've designed hundreds of new spaces and I've seen it all. Crumbling grout, impossible stains, clunky step-over tubs. Say goodbye to that ugly headache and hello to a jacuzzi bath remodel. Everyone knows the Jacuzzi brand. They're the most trusted name in water for over 60 years. But did you know they can install a gorgeous bath or shower that feels incredible in as little as 1 day and at a price that will fit any budget? Stepping into your new shower has never been easier.
It was just so difficult getting in and out of the tub. Taking a shower was such a challenge. Now it's the absolute highlight of my day.
Jacuzzi Bath Remodel combines safety and style so you don't have to compromise. Because wherever you're at in life, you deserve to start and end your day in a spectacular space designed just for you.
When we first moved in, the shower was so outdated, it had to go. Jacuzzi Bath Remodel transformed our space into something we loved and did it all within a day.
You get your own personal designer to help you customize your bath or shower and a professional installer who brings your dreams to life with no stress and no mess.
I couldn't believe we can get the bath of our dreams and within our budget.
And with our busy lives, cleanup has become so easy, no more gross scrap or scrubbing tiles.
That's right, no scrubbing. Each piece is specially engineered and perfectly designed to work together for a stunning shower system that just rinses clean. With one call, you can effortlessly transform that old, ugly eyesore into a beautiful bath or shower that you'll love for years to come with a Jacuzzi Bath Remodel.
Call or go online to jacuzzibathremodel.com now to get up to 50% off installation. Plus, ask how you may qualify for no interest and no payments for 12 months. And when you call right now, we'll give you an additional safety upgrade free. Go to jacuzzibathremodel.com or call 800-990-2805. That's 800-990-2805. Call now.
GoDaddy lets you sell from your online store or in person and manage it all from one spot. Trusted by over 20 million customers worldwide, GoDaddy has the tools to sell anything, anywhere. Start for free at GoDaddy.com/sell.
That one is for yeast and urinary tract issues. That one restores natural feminine balance. And that one is to support odor control.
Feminine hygiene aisle, right?
Protect, maintain, and restore your vaginal health. Azo, own your day.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge a very special moment that I shared with a very special person while I was away. Meet the Townsends, folks. If you didn't know, now you know. My husband, Sean Townsend, and I got married in a ceremony where our closest family and friends witnessed our union. We then took it a step further by surprising more of our family and friends at our after-wedding event dubbed a Toast to Townsend. We celebrated, we danced, and we had a good old time. The Townsend.
Sorry about that. Trying to figure out.
And he didn't just fail. He actually made things worse by sending tweets about Mike Pence and enraging his already completely over-the-top supporters who, as you know, at his direction, marched down the mall and basically tried to stage a coup, an insurrection. And the fact that he just sat there is unbelievable.
Ask you on that point right there, something that has been on my mind all week that I think people miss. Is it not so that the president cannot come into the chambers
unless he's invited. Even when he does the State of the Union, he's invited by the Speaker. And if that is the case, whether one wants to believe Cassidy Hutchinson's testimony or not, that he was enraged and tried to grab the Secret Service's will, he did announce himself he was going to meet them at the Capitol. So if he was not invited to the Capitol by the Speaker or anyone, what was he going to do? I mean, the whole question of him going to the Capitol in and of itself should be, well, how could you go to the Capitol when no one invited you? You can't even go and do the State of the Union without an invitation. Unless his desire was to cause such an uproar that it would help stop the certification.
Right.
Exactly. And we do know from multiple witnesses that he demanded that he go there, and the Secret Service kept telling him, no, it's unsafe, you shouldn't go there. He knew his supporters were armed. You know that. That has come out now, that he knew that before he even went out to give his rally speech. So all of these things add up to a premeditated plan going way back when he was basically undermining the vote by mail, knowing that it would take the states, some of them, a few days to count. When I think you look at all the facts, and this is what's been so brilliant about Benny Thompson's work and Liz Cheney's and the rest of the committees, they've really put together a story that make the case that I think you and I, Al, knew was going on. And I just think of the National Guard of Washington, D.C., then under the command of General Walker. He said every second, every minute mattered. They were sitting in a bus, and the President of the United States never called, never helped to get them over to the Capitol. That's just one glaring example that could have saved lives.
Senator, in your capacity as the chair of the Senate Committee on Rules and Administration, you announced this week you would hold hearings on the Electoral Act. This comes as a bipartisan group of your colleagues have hammered out a deal to rewrite the act in order to prevent a repeat of what occurred on January 6, 2020. Now, former President Donald Trump was quick to jump on this headline, claiming it somehow justified his assertion that Vice President Mike Pence could have sent the election back to the states if he wanted to. Could you explain why former President Trump is wrong about the act and what revisions could be made to help defend our democracy?
He's completely wrong about the act. At the time, Mike Pence made it clear, as has every vice president, they don't have that power. It's a ceremonial role. But of course, in this revisions to the bill, we can always clarify it, but that part of it isn't necessary, but it's always a good idea. What is necessary is to make very, very clear that it's not just one senator and one House member that can object to an electoral college outcome. We have a crazy situation. I don't think that in the late 1800s, during the time of Rutherford Hayes, there was a Ted Cruz or a Josh Hawley, because in fact, one senator is all it takes. And so what the revisions do is say, let's increase those numbers. My original bill with Senator Durbin and King was something like a third, and the group went for 20%. I still think that's good enough. And that is one of the things we'll talk about at the hearing. There were so many things that open up loopholes, basically, for people like Donald Trump that want to illegally claim victory that he can use to his advantage. That's why this is so important to get this done. And I'm glad a bipartisan group came together, and I'm looking forward to chairing the hearing.
Senator, let's switch gears for a moment to an issue front and center for many Americans. This week, you held a virtual press conference where you urged your colleagues to pass legislation that would lower the cost of prescription drugs by empowering Medicare to negotiate prices. Are you confident Congress can take action on this before the end of the summer and before voters head to the polls in the midterms?
I am, Al, and that's because the need has become even clearer. And all you have to do is see on TV the ads that Pharma is running against this proposal. What happened years and years ago is that the pharmaceutical companies got written into a law, a ban on negotiating less expensive drugs. The result, despite the fact that our taxpayers are the ones that are footing the bill for research, we pay the highest of any industrialized nation for our prescription drugs. We are paying 250% more for simple, straightforward drugs like Lyrica and Symbicort. We see Canada having much less expensive prescription drugs right over the border. And that's why this negotiation, supported by AARP, is going to make such a big difference in bringing down the cost of drugs. We're also working to reduce the insulin costs. I think we're going to be able to pass a bill on that, and putting a cap on what Medicare recipients have to pay for drugs. This is a big deal. And it's related to what we talked about earlier.
This is absolutely true in what she's saying, because I have recently, the doctors found some sort of platelets in my blood that actually causes heart attacks and strokes, or they claim it's a contributing factor to this. Well, they put me on this drug called VASCEPA, 1 gram, 2 capsules by mouth daily. And if I was to be paying for this drug, which it's made from ICOSAPENT ETHY, I don't know if that's a L. Okay. Capsules, 120 capsules in this bottle, that according to the pharmacy, if I was to pay for this out of pocket, it would be over $400. $400. Naturally, whenever you got insurance, you ain't got to pay that kind of money. But the point that I'm making is this: you can buy basically the same type of capsule over the counter. That's nothing more than fish oil. The only difference is those capsules that are clear looking hasn't been certified, and these here have. So because those other fish oil capsules got certified, makes these capsules here valued at like 4,000 more times than what those that you can get on the shelf. So what she's talking about as far as pharma, big pharma, taking advantage of the American insurance companies and people's lives is absolutely correct. Is absolutely 100 correct. This is made by AMARIN. Amaron is who makes this particular product. One capsule contains 1 gram of ICOSAPENT ETHYL. Usage adults, dosage only. And like I said, this is intensely expensive. Just like the medication that I have to take with insulin medication. That is extremely expensive too as well. So what Big Pharma is doing is just raking the American people over the coals in charging these type of charges, and it's really sad. It's really sad.
Earlier, because the way you build trust with the country, you get to the bottom of all of the things that have been happening to try to tear apart our democracy. But you also build trust by getting things done. That's what President Biden did with a group of senators on the infrastructure bill. That's what we're going to do on this pharmaceutical bill. That's what we're doing with the semiconductor bill that's going to pass and be signed into law by President Biden. I actually think there's a lot of really exciting things going on right now that are going to tackle what is number one on Americans' minds, bringing down their costs.
Now, before we run out of time, I want to quickly get your personal thoughts about the latest legal development in the death of George Floyd. You're the senator, one of the two in that state. On Thursday, a federal judge sentenced former Minneapolis officer Nathan Lane to 2.5 years in prison for violating Floyd's civil rights. Officer Lane held Floyd's legs as Officer Derek Chauvin pinned his neck to the ground for nearly 9.5 minutes. Now, 2 other officers are awaiting sentences for their own civil rights conviction. I know you were close. We worked a lot around this case. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think this news got lost, and I'm so glad you're asking about it, because Derek Chauvin got convicted, as you know, for murder, and that was a big deal. It was a road to redemption, and we're not there yet. I don't think he can have complete justice till we pass Cory Booker's bill on police reform. I don't think we can have complete justice till we complete the pattern and practice investigation in the Minneapolis police. But you know, Al, you've been out to Minnesota so much, how important that verdict was. Then secondly, a federal case was brought against the 3 other officers, and they were all convicted by a federal jury, as you point out with one of the sentences, of not aiding in stopping the murder, not stepping in and saving George Floyd's life. That's a big deal because those verdicts don't...
Basically aiding and abetting a murderer. They become a murderist.
Come around easy. I'm not an expert on what the sentence should be. I would most likely have gone with what the prosecution wanted here. But the point is the conviction itself is very, very important.
No, I think the conviction is important. I would have liked to have seen more time, but I also, in balance, see...
We're not supposed to aid a terrorist group. And as far as I'm concerned, by us selling missiles and big stuff to the Saudi Arabians, and then them turn around and use it against the Yemens, makes us once more aiding and abetting the enemy. In other words, we're not no different than what they are, because we're selling them the stuff knowing who they're going to use it against and what they're going to do with it. I mean, if you do that in America, that's against the law. If you know somebody was intentionally going to kill somebody and they didn't have no bullets, and you handed them a handful of bullets, guess what? You become accessory to what that person's fixing to do. That means it just as well have been you that pulled the trigger, because you was the one that handed that person the bullets. Same difference on selling a group of people that has been known of burning the candle on both ends towards supporting known as well as unknown terrorist groups that, yes, not only killed a journalist, but also had a great deal to do with masterminded 9/11 that still has not yet been brought out to the American people. But as far as I'm concerned, we, America, the federal government, selling them the type of artillery that we sell them, and I guess are continually selling them, makes us an accessory to whatever that they're doing with those rockets and with those bombs.
More time than we ever got in a long time. We just got to keep going. Thank you, Senator Amy Klobuchar. Let's talk more about midterms right now. Joining me is...
We're going to go forward for conscientious sake, time's sake. We're going forward, forward.
Of a feast.
So that's why it's the monster.
You catch on quick, Marshawn. It's Subway's biggest refresh yet.
Welcome to Allstate, where the safer you drive.
Well, we've run out of time here on what I was looking for.
His way through the second.
Nope. I don't know what that is.
Want some? Sure, on a cheap date.
I don't remember that show.
Indoors?
Okay, let's end it right there. Thanks again for listening. Good luck to all of us pertaining to global warming. That's what the initial recording was about. We got that in on the tail end towards what they was talking about as far as drug cost and George Floyd's death being illegitimate pertaining to people being charged. Just want to say this. We didn't get in this shape that we're in right now overnight. And the odds are we're not going to get out of this predicament that we're in right now overnight. But we have to raise a banner or a red flag somewhere towards letting the world know that what we're doing obviously is the wrong thing whenever it comes to global warming and what we're doing to each other. So if we're going to turn it around, now's the time to turn it around, because if we don't, it will be detrimental to the planet and the things on the planet. Thanks again and good luck and shalom. God bless you and God bless America. God bless our troops.